This is Karla Pendleton again, back with episode 2 of how to paint wild roses using a one-fire finger painted technique. And you see the results of our finger painting on episode 1 there before you. Just want to remind you that I do sell most of the supplies that we're using in this demonstration. So if you have any questions about supplies or need something, just give me a call at 970-799-1788. In July, my website that I have used for a number of years will be closing due to just the unbelievable amount of money they want to keep it open. So I will, you can touch base with me at my email also, khpendleton, pendleton, @hotmail.com. So please keep in touch, and let's go ahead and continue. So we've laid in our finger painting, we've laid in our position for the roses, and we've started to lay in the background colors. And the next thing we want to do is kind of make sense out of that background. And the first thing I would like to do is start carving out a shape here, which is going to represent that rose that's in the far background. It'll be a yellow rose, but we want to gray it down considerably so that it will work towards the background. And there's where the center is going to be, so I'm just using my wipeout tool to kind of sketch in the general shape that I want. And then I'm going to come in and use this chamois cloth to pull out extraneous paint and shape a little bit. Okay, so that's basically the shape that I'll want for that rose, that background rose. And in case you've forgotten, I will try to show this, see if I'm doing it right. It's this rose right here that I'm working on right now. It's kind of pushed into the background, and so it won't be as bright as the foreground roses or as the focal point should be. So the other thing I want to do is kind of sketch in some placements for leaves that'll be coming up here on the next video. I also want to sketch in some background leaves and maybe just make a couple of little cuts there to indicate those. Then I'll sketch in some more background leaves here and maybe some stem work that we would see in the background. So I'm just wiping away paint so that I can use the negative space to shape the positive image here. And just kind of make sense, make this background work with the rest of the design. And so I have quite a bit of stem work on my piece that I'm trying to kind of copy a little bit anyway. So I'll just put some little stem work back in here, just going every different direction. And then I'm going to clean up some edges using the chamois cloth again. And I've set this up now to kind of make sense out of the background, make it look more like foliage rather than just extraneous paint in the background. I'll want to first use my 1/2-inch brush, that's this one right here. I think I held that in the right place. And we'll clean it off because it's got quite a bit of yellow left in it, and I don't want this to become too bright. So I'm loading it with some medium, and then a very light load of the lemon yellow that I showed to you in the first video. It's also on my palette. And I'm just going to start to kind of wipe out some detail on these petals on this rose that's in the far background. I'm just using a fairly clean, fairly dry brush as a wipeout tool. And when I pick up too much paint, I'll wipe it against the side of the my paper towel here, and there goes my phone. Why don't I remember to silence those things? Oh well. Here's going to be a a good highlight on this petal. And then we'll shape just a little more. I'm kind of going to want to see a little more highlight there. Then we'll pull out maybe a turn back on this petal here and just kind of hint at another petal there in the background. We'll definitely want to be wiping out some paint where the center is going to go here, because we will want to make that, if we don't want a green center, we want a pale yellow center. I am using a little bit of the corn paint on the left corner of my brush here. And I'm also going to show suggestions of other petals running in under here. These are the other petals of this flower that run underneath my focal point. Don't want to wipe out too much, but we definitely want to suggest the rest of the petals being back there. And this one we're going to turn back, not turn back, but we're going to foreshorten a bit. And just kind of give it the edge of the brush there. This one we're going to kind of flip around. Okay, so I'm liking the shape of that. I'm liking the look of it. Does it exactly match my other one? No, but that's okay. I never paint the same piece twice, mostly because I really have a hard time doing that, and it gets boring after a while. So we want the set to match, or to give the illusion of matching, but we don't want it to be, each piece to be identical, especially since the shapes are so different. So we fit each design to the piece we're actually working on. And let's give it a little bit of a center. Now I'm going to dip a smaller brush, that would be this one, into the medium, and then I'm just going to pick up a little bit of the rich brown on the left corner, and I'm going to kind of sketch in very lightly a center, or at least the illusion of a center. Maybe want it a little darker than that, so we'll pick up a little more paint and make sure we've got plenty of highlight on this, along this edge. And so we'll tap it again, and I'm going to come in with my liner brush, and that would be this brush right here, fine liner brush, and pick up some paint, or some medium I mean, pick up a little bit, very lightly touch into that rich brown, and then you're just going to dot in some stamen or seeds, or, you know, let's put a couple of light, very light stamen in here. Remember, this is in the background. We do not want to see too much detail on this flower. So maybe a few stamen, very light. We don't want it overpowering our major players. All right, and now just a little bit more tapping of seeds or pollen. I'm not sure what you would call it. I call it fluff. Things that make the eye understand, the eye of the viewer, understand that these are wild roses. So we give it those characteristics that we see so often in the centers of wild roses. Now we'll emphasize it more on the main flower. But for now, I think we're going to put just a little more color right in there, deepen that a little bit, and we're going to call that one finished. We'll also want to come in here and take a look at going back to our 1/2-inch brush. That would be this brush right here. And going into just a little bit of the blue-green, that is the mallard, Russian green, Blue Mysteria is what I'm actually using. and maybe put just a couple of highlights on some of these background leaves, particularly along the edge. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. Got a little turn back there. Let's keep it. And let's maybe put another little background leaf in here. I'll do another video later to show you a little more detail on how I make those leaves and how I highlight them. Let's also put one up here, just because we can, and I think I did on the piece that I'm actually looking at, that I'm trying to not match, but have a similar design. We're going to also put one here. Make sense of that little bit of background. And I think we're going to call that background ready for the next step. So thanks for watching. Don't forget, you can contact me, Karla Pendleton, if you have any questions about this video or any of my videos on my YouTube channel at 970-799-1788. And don't forget, my website will be going away in July, so really YouTube is the only way to contact me other than my phone or email. Email is khpendleton@hotmail.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a blessed day.